So I now have Tempo online, and you can see that Puck is already distressed and pacing the fence a little, which I wish I could make it so she wasn't doing any of that on her leg, but she's going to be distressed kind of no matter how this goes. But what I think you're going to see, if based on other integrations I've done, is that Tempo's behavior is going to be really different towards Shiloh when it's just her and him. I could be wrong, but based on past interactions, that's how it's been. When she doesn't have her mom to worry about and the rest of the herd, really included, she behaves very differently. Again, this is going to be very stressful for Puck. Tempo's talking to Puck. I'm going to put Tempo in here, and then I'll come back on. I'm going to put the video camera down while I do this, just in case. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I just took the halter off. Shiloh's staying over there. Tempo's, you can see already, much more kind of coy. She's not going right over to him right away. And this is the difference I've seen in the past, is if the rest of the herd isn't there. Sorry, I was hanging the rope behind me. It's a very different dynamic, and this will be much more thoughtful and calm. And Puck is still pacing a little, but has calmed down just because there's not fireworks. She's calmed a little. She's trotting when I first opened the gate to put Tempo in here. Oop, here we go. Let's see how this goes. I'll stop talking. Well, she talked to Shiloh, but it was very soft and gentle, not the more aggressive. Now she's talking to Puck. So Tempo's making the first moves towards Shiloh. I'll stop talking and zoom in and just let you watch. So after that first negotiation, it's been calm for about 5 minutes. Tempo's been eating and blowing out some air, kind of letting go of some of that tension. And Shiloh's seems to just be saying, it's nice to meet you, it's nice to flirt, but can we just be in calmer relationship first? And if you're going to be really emotional, you're going to talk to my feet. But again, he was really, really careful not to land any of those kicks, and I'm so grateful to him. I've been talking to all of them about, please be tender with each other, even though I know they have to express themselves in the way that horses do. But I've definitely been talking to all of them about how important each of them is to me, and that I really don't want anyone getting seriously hurt, and no kicks would be great. But anyway, this is really calm for the moment, and as you can tell, very different than when Puck and Rayleigh are also in the mix. So since I need to give Puck a few days without too much excitement to kind of hopefully let her ring bone arthritis flare up, kind of settle back down. But I don't want to stall out the herd integration, because I think we're kind of at a critical stage here. And if I don't do any more, movement toward full integration, we may have to go back and kind of start over and have yesterday's scene again, which I really don't want to do. I have a feeling if Tempo and Shiloh can get a lot more comfortable with each other, maybe, and I'll continue to do Rayleigh and Shiloh too, then maybe if the other two are calmer, Puck will follow that lead and be calmer too when I finally put them all back together again. That's my thinking right now. Meanwhile, on the other corner of the farm, I'm happy to report that Puck has left the fence, and as soon as Tempo calmed down over there, and she has gone to seek some comfort with Rayleigh, and they're very calm. So this is all confirmation, I think, that this was the right step at this stage. And she's still looking over there, and I'm sure if they have more negotiations back there, she'll get a little stressed again. But this is the best way I know how to help her understand that Tempo is not in any danger with Shiloh, and that this is the direction that the herd integration is moving, even if it's not right now what she would choose. So they just had a conversation about the hay, and Shiloh, I guess, gave her his intention to come over and have the hay, and she protested a little, and then she moved off. And I was smart enough to know to have two little hay piles out here. This was the remnants from the hay nets from last night, just so that there wouldn't be an argument over resources necessarily. There's also some more hay over there, so there's plenty to go around. Good job, Tempo. Hi, you coming to check in? Thank you. You're doing a great job. I know this is hard. So it's also good that I waited. It's been over 2 weeks since Shiloh's arrival. And so the hormones, although still there, are a lot calmer than they were in the beginning. This is like a really extended period of being in season. It usually lasts about a week. But with a new horse and kind of the back and forth of being with him and not being with him kept them in season longer. But now that we're having some calmer behavior, I'm also hopeful that the hormones will completely die out for a couple weeks here, or mostly, and they can sort a lot of things out before the next round of hormones. Tempo's taking a look to see about where Mom is, but Puck is still not at the fence, which is great. Hey, Tempo. Oh. She's like not really interested in touches though. Just wanted to check in. So this is nice and calm pretty much. So I'm just gonna try to leave them out here for maybe an hour or two and just kind of monitor and see what happens. I'm just hanging here with my girl Puck now. She's really calmed down. I'm just trying to center her, talking to her about how this can be a new chapter where she doesn't have to worry so much about tempo, can start focusing on her own health. Yeah, and not running around so much with everybody and let them run around. It's a hard transition. Her body just can't keep, her mind wants to keep up with everybody when they run and play or whatever, but she really pays the price. I remember Shoki was kind of in that phase when we integrated Rayleigh into the herd, and I had to really be conscious about that because Shoki got really sore, and they have the same ring bone in a different spot but the same type of arthritis. Puck has a similar type that Shoki had. So her right front that she's putting forward is just aching today. So she gets pain medicine already and MSM. So, but she's going to need to stay quieter for a couple days, plus the meds and supplements before she'll start feeling better again. So during that time, I'll probably take turns having Shiloh with Tempo and with Rayleigh, and Puck will practice being with whoever's not out with Shiloh, at least until she's feeling better. I think this is also going to give her a chance to just emotionally release some of all these charged energies she has. And if any of these close-ups you're noticing on her other eye that she has a white spot or a light spot in the eye, that's because when she was young, she had a fungal infection in her left eye, and they did a skin flap to save the eye. So she actually doesn't have a whole lot of vision in her left eye, but she does have some vision. So if you see that, that's what that is. So I'm just going to stay here and hang with her and give her some moral support. They're still quiet back there for now. So now Rayleigh came over too to hang out with us here. Puck's saying not quite that close, but a little moral support here. This is the rest zone. A lot of emotional processing as well as physical resting happening here. And Rayleigh kind of wants to be over there with them, but we're not going to leave Miss Puck by herself right now. No, she's not ready for that. So I appreciate you supporting Puck. You're such a good man, Rayleigh. Yeah. So I'm just showing this to say that I'm spending some time over here offering emotional support and comfort for these guys. Whoop, I got a little more excitement going on back here now. Tempo is trying to flirt with him and he's not really taking the bait. So that's a little frustrating for her. With the other integrations, she could kind of sort of force herself into their space. I don't know if you can hear her talking, but she's talking to him. Ultimately, this is going to be really good for Tempo because she is not used to not getting her way. So this may be a chapter of her learning a little bit more about both self-control and also how to ask with a little more finesse than she's used to having. Because I have a feeling if she's not real polite and respectful, he is not going to respond positively to her. So that will be a bit better balance ultimately for Tempo in herself and also in the herd. Wow, that was impressive. So he just backed her into that corner and I was holding my breath because she let herself get backed in that corner. And he could have really pinned her in there. But once she let him know she wasn't gonna fight, sorry, I'm going out the window here. He moved forward and let her out. Fascinating. So Tempo is not liking not being in control of the dynamics in here. And so she started calling to her mom again. Like I said, this is a new dynamic for her. And the like head tossing you saw a little earlier, that's often how she displays when she's feeling frustrated and not in control of something that's happening. And he's just continuing to be very matter of fact, but he and offering her chances to connect, but kind of on his terms rather than her terms, and it's hard for her. So she's flirting with him sometimes, but also wanting to be more in control and having a hard time just settling in with just grazing peacefully with him. There we go. I know. It's hot and she's sweaty, so I'm going to offer her some hose, but I have a feeling she's not going to want to focus on that. I want to leave them together just a little bit longer, because I feel like Tempo's trying to make some shifts that are hard, but she needs a little time to do it. But I'll see if she wants to get hosed off. So Tempo did allow me to give her a nice hose down. Yeah, not in her face though, but everywhere else. So she's much cooler now. And Shiloh just stayed in the background and watched that. Meanwhile, I have mixed up some Butte for Puck, because I really want to nip this flare up in the bud if we can of her ring bone. Interestingly, she's been the calmest of all when she's been over here with Rayleigh while Tempo's in with Shiloh. So in terms of keeping her quiet for the next few days, this might be the quietest scenario, which is interesting. But I'm going to go get her Butte, and then I need to run to the vet to get some more because I only had a little on hand, and we're going to do it, talk to my vet, we're going to do it for a few days, take her off the Previcox and do Butte, a little bit stronger pain reliever and anti-inflammatory till her ring bone flare up is feeling better. Ah, baby, yeah, we don't want you hurting. I know. Yeah. So I'm going to go take care of all that stuff. I will definitely separate Shiloh and Tempo before I go, because I'm just not comfortable leaving them by themselves. But I think putting Tempo back in here is going to create actually more movement. But yeah, really, you're such a good companion. Such a good man. Anyway, all the management things.